name is Josiah Muriuki. I am a master's student at the University of Pretoria, and I also come from Kirinyaga County. And I love to say that a part of me believes that I was born to do something about this county. I don't know, what do you guys think when you think about Kirinyaga County? I would like to hear just random, what do you think about when you think about Kirinyaga County? Najua nimesema it's the land of milk and honey. Hiyo achana nayo. What comes to your mind when you think about Kirinyaga? You can just give me a random answer. Or you guys don't think about Kirinyaga, it's too far. Ama haiko kwa map. Yeah? Okay, tell me, what is your neighbor saying? What is your neighbor saying that they think about when they think of Kirinyaga County? Yeah? Ninasikia tu mama, sisikii ni nani anasema nini. One very courageous person. I have a gift for you. Hey, washainua mikono sasa wakisikia gift. Yo. All right. What comes to your mind? I saw someone raise their hand there. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Say it again. School. Okay. Yes. I didn't hear. Rice and bulls. Oh. Watu wanalima mchele huku sana. Pishori. Pure rice comes from Kirinyaga. And what I realized, so I think the essence of this specific or particular gathering is so that we can have an avenue in which opportunities that are available to us can be given directly to us. And some of us, as Fred said, it's fine, it's okay. That's fine. All right, let me just unmute. You can move. So I want to give us a charge as we start, just a simple, very simple charge that is based on my experience as a child born in Kirinyaga, and specifically now in a country called Kenya, where we have a population of around 56 million approximately, and we have so much of a crisis, and many of us think that it is not possible to make it in this day and age. My presentation simply is titled, "It is possible." Tell your neighbor, it is possible. Tell your neighbor with confidence, it is possible. So why do I say it is possible? I would say it's possible because I was born and raised in a village and rounded off to the nearest shopping center. It's called Karumande. Karumande is not the name of my home. My home is somewhere near Karumande. So you round it off to the nearest shopping center. I tried the other day mapping it kwa Google Map. Ushaijaribu kuclick kitu kwa word inasema not responding? Have you ever tried to do that? That was my situation. And I went to Kirinyaga Township Primary School. I got a scholarship with the school. They offered to sponsor me for my primary education. And then after I was done, I got the Wings to Fly scholarship. And I count that as a real blessing, because if I didn't get a scholarship for my high school education, then that means that I would not have made it to get to Kirinyaga High School, and especially bearing in mind the school fee amount. So, with the situation in my home and having a financially disadvantaged background, I knew that the only route to making anything out of my life was through education. I know that I'm speaking to people who might have such a challenge that they have faced in their lives. And I'm waiting for the screen to come up again so that I can just go on. Okay, not yet. There it is. So you can just go to the next slide. So I just tried to highlight in words and a picture. One of the greatest achievements that I have had so far has been when I graduated from university. I went to University of Nairobi when I left Kenyaga. And when I graduated, I remember I cried. They say men don't cry, but I think that day I might have not been a man, if that is true what they say. But I believe that on that day, all my weirdest and wildest dreams had come true. I was a first generation student from my family, and when I say family, I mean extended family. I dare say I was a surprise to my ancestors. They never thought anyone would ever get to that level. Graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Chemistry, as complicated as that sounds, then gave me a challenge. What is it that you are doing apart from your degree to better yourself? And immediately after my graduation, thank you. That's the second one. Sorry. Yes. So I did a very thorough soul searching. And I remember listening to podcasts, listening to audio messages, listening to every other information that was useful to me. One specific one that I would highlight and recommend to any of us is The Value of Purpose by Dr. Miles Monroe. I listened to that specific speech. It was a sermon, and he was talking about how we are all born for a purpose. That each of us exists for a specific purpose that we have to achieve in our lives. And I thought about it. When I was graduating, I'm the first person to graduate. There was personal expectations. I don't know what I want to do because I told my friends that I know where I know where I don't want to go, but I don't know where I want to go. Why? Najua sitaki kurudi ushago. Many of us here would be thinking, after 4 years nitaenda wapi? That was me. But I knew sitaki kurudi ushago. Because ukirudi ushago, what they used to say is that you retrogress. You go back to where you started. And then I got an opportunity to do marketing. But then there were family expectations. I don't know if you guys, probably our guests can tell us, but immediately you graduate, your family and social community expect, sasa hata siku ya graduation waliombea tunaombea hata ule bibi ataoa ni vizuri. But that's the family expectation, right? And upon graduation, there was another expectation because now you are learned. You cannot be an English-speaking villager. You have to have money. In the village, the language they speak there, you might just be owning a car garage, but provided you have money, no one cares how you look. You know that, eh? And there are all these expectations, and my conclusion was, do what your purpose leads you to. And therefore, I realized that there are opportunities that are available, and I am qualified. I was working that time, I had gotten a job with ELP desk, so I was working in Dr. Mada's office. That time she was not yet in the office, but I was working in that office, the Equity Leaders Program office, and I was helping people apply to global opportunities. I was like the banner to heaven that tells people, this is the way. It has never been where? It has never been there. You see the banner iko pale ya Kirinyaga University. Inasema Kirinyaga University is this direction. I have never, ever boarded a plane to leave the country to anywhere, including to Uganda or Tanzania. I only knew it's in the East African community. But my dreams were bigger, and I decided that I will actually take this thing seriously, and I will do my applications. And ladies and gentlemen, the journey began. I got 10 applications complete. And guess how many I got in? Those who follow me on LinkedIn know. Only a GM, 1 out of 10. And the good thing is, that rejection emails zinakujanga kwanza, then the congratulation email inakuja later. So what happened, nilipata unajua email ya rejection inakujanga aje, dear Josiah, thank you very much for applying to our university. We are glad that you took time to pen down a very well thought through application. Unfortunately, we are not able to offer you a slot due to high competition. We had 1,500 and what applicants. I got 9 of those emails. I remember one that I shared at here. It was the scholarship for Christian young people. What am I not? Is it that I'm not a Christian? My name betrays me? Is it that I'm not a young, or is it that I'm not a person? Which one is which? I had all hopes that I would get a scholarship. But through my 9 rejections, I pulled all my efforts to pen down one application for 5 months. The application to the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at the University of Pretoria. With the help of very useful mentors, application to the school was a challenge, application to the scholarship was a challenge. I had to write like 5 essays. And by the time I was done, I knew that something is coming to be okay. And since I was working at Equity that time and I was an supply scholar, what I told them is, for me, I am at home. I'm just waiting to know what to do. My parents didn't know what I was doing. My colleagues, some of them knew, some of them didn't know. And the reason I have not told everyone is because now I would be starting to get another treatment if someone knows that I got a scholarship, and probably I have not even gotten the confirmation for funding if I have an admission. So I decided that I will take initiative, and as I have written there, that I applied to all the 9 scholarships because I knew that tunajituma mpaka ijipe. Ni kweli? Tunajituma mpaka ijipe. My path si kukuwa na mkoa majuu. Sinajua wale ambao wenye walimaliza form 4 akakwambia nitumie CV. 2 years down the line bado tu anapanga anatenga, si ndio? And I knew that the only way for me would be through a global opportunity. But either way, even having gotten a scholarship, even having gotten a scholarship, that was my reality. The photo on the left, on my left, your right, has some structure that has a mwanya ya tunaweza toshea watatu ndani. You can see it? That was home. And I knew that. I remember one time my friend on the camera called Christopher Osundo, we went after a mentorship program. Unajua mentorship za high school wanaitaka motivational speakers, sisi tulikuwa tunafanya mentorship. Umetoka kuambia watoto it is possible, and that is where you're going back home. And what I knew is that the most important thing is to know that a situation is never permanent. We live every moment at a time. And therefore, with that reality, I would not dare pause and settle for less. What I did is I decided that I would start saving up. So I started saving up way earlier when I got an internship at 17 years. I started saving up at that time and storing my money in one place, knowing that by the way, I earn some interest and getting some dividends. And by the end of the year, I will get some dividends and pull them back. That's financial literacy, by the way. It's just a crash course. You put your money not in a bank account. Put them somewhere you will get return. By the end of the year, you get dividends, you put it back. And I had a dream. And the journey began by knowing that I have a responsibility, as things are misbehaving, I had a responsibility to do something, but at least build a foundation that future generations, walituambia ukifika 25, kama uko na watoto, wakisema I come from a humble background in wewe. I don't know if you guys know that. So, kama uko 22, kidogo tu hivi, usipojipanga unaenda kukua humble background. So, what I did is to make sure that I am starting to do something that I will always be proud for, what they call a legacy. And what is a legacy? Today, you're seated here today to get information, and I want to promise you that you will get so much information. But what you do with that information is what matters. Why? Because information out here, there's a lot of information on Google. You guys know that you can get so much on ChatGPT. Like you just go to chatgpt.com and you can ask ChatGPT anything. But if that information is not in your head, then it's not knowledge. They say knowledge is? They say knowledge is power. So if you don't have the information in your mind, then it means that that knowledge, you don't have power yet. So I decided that at least having some extra knowledge about something would help me to be better as a person, but also to be better in my community. And in that journey, I then started an organization called Betterment Africa. And our goal has always been to pass the baton. Say, pass the baton. Why pass the baton? It's because some of us come from families where, as I said, in my case, no one went to school. And therefore it means that wewe usipomaliza shule, then kwa historia ya hiyo familia siku moja ambayo itaandikwa, a friend of mine tells me, when history will be written, they will say that in that family no one went to school, or everyone finished at class 7, or everyone finished at class 3. And if you think that it is not possible, then So, if you think that it's not possible, then I would be here to be a living testimony. Because the photo you saw on that picture, I was in college. I was at the University of Nairobi, bragging out there as a student leader saying, I am from the only university that is south of the Sahara and north of Limpopo, the only university that has a road named after the university, and the only university that has a tower in the city center that has a helipad. Think about that. That person is going back to a house that looks like a kibanda, and that is home. But then, with that in mind, I knew that change is inevitable, and we leave home to change home. And therefore, I had no option, rather I'm saying no option because it was deep within me, and had that as a childhood dream to make sure that my family will know what it means to at least be better. We get 1% better every day. So with Betterment Africa, going on the other side, we started an Access to Global Opportunities program where we have been working with students who have been making applications to global universities so that as we have impact at home, charity begins at home, right? But then we would have more impact in our community. And today, as we stand today, we have 8, actually 9 from Kenya, and 2, one from Uganda and 1 from Ghana, who got scholarships under the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship Program this year. 3 of them are here. I can just request them to wave. Wasimame tu wawave. Sio stories za Java. So that is Dennis. You can just stand. That is Dennis. Dennis, where do you come from? Where? Kirinyaga University. Where? Cornell, Kenya. That is Christabel. She comes from the other side of Kirinyaga, and Lucy is where? Okay, she will be in our panel discussion. So Lucy comes from Muranga, but she lives in Kahawa West. So with that reality in place, so in the journey, that journey began. But I wanted to show you that it is possible because Dennis completed his KCSE in Nakuru Boys which year? Shout a bit. 2022. Chrisabel completed in Chogoria which year? 2022, and Lucy completed last year. And last year is 2022, 2023, yes. That's when she completed. Now she has a scholarship. So with that reality, just go to the next slide. I want to just make it quick. That was a dream. I knew that I have to make something happen. It takes time, but good things take time. So go to the next. Step by step, we made something come to reality. And in this structure you can see here, it created employment. See, affordable housing. I'm not political by the way, but it created employment for youth. You can see them, right? And it was done by locals in my place. It was never expected, bearing in mind that my parents didn't go to school, so it was never expected that we would even get such a structure. I was that time with Osundwa in that place. Tulikuwa tunafanya mjengo, tunadeal na foreman. And can you go to the next? And now we have a fully furnished and finished house from what was there before. And a tank on the side to make sure that when there is no water elsewhere, there is water in my family. Go to the next. That is the transition. And tomorrow, you see tomorrow, sema kesho. Mimi si muongo, leo ni leo, sema kesho ni muongo, lakini mimi si muongo. Kesho, see in 6 months time, kesho tutapanga, tutahakikisha tumefungua hiyo nyumba. Wazazi waishi wapi? Hapo. And it gives me so much joy because it's a dream that I have had for all my life. I could put my life on the line for this. Why? Because it doesn't just show who I am, it shows who God is, and He is faithful to make His promises. And that desire that you have come true. I went to South Africa last year. I have been doing tutoring jobs. Eric can tell you I'm not available on Saturdays. Eric, you know who Eric is just now. I'm not available on Saturdays because I'm out there with kids, tutoring them to make sure that I have a dream, I have to make it happen. So I'm doing the side jobs, I'm working in the lab, I do everything that I can to make sure that all the pool comes together. And if you can go to the next slide, then you can see that the dream and the reality, which one is better? Tukiondoa AI, tuondoe AI. Which one is better? The reality, sindio? Ukiangalia hata ambience, sindio? And that is cool. It gives me so much pride to see this come to fruition. And I believe that apart from getting a scholarship, apart from being the chairperson of Mastercard Foundation, being on the board of the Institute of Food Technology, being a peer coach with the Africa Careers Network, being a study group leader with the Equity Group Foundation, apart from all those titles, that being a son to my parents that can make them smile gives me the utmost pride, gives me the utmost. I'm so humbled to be in that space. Can you go to the next? This year, I have been honored to be part of these opportunities that I would want you to look at. The first one is Aspire Leaders Program. So Aspire Leaders Program this year has had 3 cycles. The first one is in January, the second one is in April, the third one is in September. When you apply, if you go through the training which has 3 modules, you can get to the end. So I got to the end and I applied for the Social Impact Seed Funding. So the Social Impact Seed Funding, they give you $1,000. How much is that in Kenyan shillings? Calculate. And then they give you $1,000, and when I went to Harvard, that photo there, oh, guys, I went to Harvard. When I went to Harvard, I did meet the team, the Aspire Leaders Program team. And when you interact with people you know, it's a virtual training, you don't have to pay anything, it's fully paid for. And when you complete the program, they give you an opportunity to apply for funding. And after that, after their thousands, the seed funding, you can get a community action award, which I'm applying for this year, here in Lazima. So I'm applying for, and that one they give you $10,000 and above. How much is $10,000? Ukipata hiyo umeomoka ama hujaomoka bado? Tuongee ukweli, umeomoka ama hujaomoka? And after that, I got the Feeding Tomorrow Fund. With the Feeding Tomorrow Fund, they give you $2,000 to buy your school equipment, items, and all that. Next to that, I got the PepsiCo grant. So PepsiCo, mnajua Mirinda? Do you guys know the crisps, Lay's? So I got the PepsiCo grant this year. With PepsiCo grant, they had just started and they were giving $6,000. How much is that in Kenyan shillings? And that helped me to travel to the US 2 times this year. So I went to Chicago in July, went to Chicago in November. And after that, in the past 2-3 weeks, I got the Mandela Rhodes Foundation scholarship. So that will be funding the entire of my master's degree. It is during this time that one of my very good friends told me that some days are like decades. Decades happen in days. Because I applied for Mandela Rhodes Foundation, I applied for MasterCard Foundation at the University of Pretoria, I applied for MasterCard Foundation at University of British Columbia, and I applied for another fellowship called the Mountain Top Fellowship. In one day, I got 3 emails of acceptances. Say good problems. Because now you have 3 funding opportunities, you're asking yourself, which one do I take? And how do you apply for Mandela Rhodes? It opens in March and closes in April. You can just go to mandelaRhodes.org. Utaona uso yangu hapo mahali. The class of 2025. And after that, I have humbly been leading the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program as the chairperson of the University of Pretoria. It has been a humbling experience because you get to lead people from across different countries, different personalities, different cultures, and you get to understand who they are. And go to the next slide. And hiyo picha ilikuwa huko, ilikuwa mimi ule mwenye labda mjaiona hiyo version, sikuwa najua vitu mingi. Then I was through the PepsiCo grant and being a board member in the Institute of Food Technologies. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because I know probably there's someone who studies food science here, and they don't know that these opportunities exist. So you can come and let's have a conversation. I got to travel to Chicago in July, and this has been a life-changing experience because you get to understand firstly, ile kitu tulisoma simple ya geography, that when you move to the east, time increases or decreases, or does the pressure increase or decrease? It decreases. So when you move to the east time, when you go to the west, kuna watu wako kwa crisis. So you get to see that you left. So you left, let's say I left Johannesburg on 14, and then you arrive in the other place 14 usiku. You would expect to travel for 15 hours, so unafika huko kwingine the other day usiku, and then unafika huko kwingine asubuhi, because you're going against time. You're going where? You're gaining time, and when you come back, you lose time. It's a concept that you only get to understand, like the actual the magic when you get to travel and you get to meet amazing people of different races, of different cultures, of different, and you learn that we are first human, then white. First human, then black. Kenyan context. First human, then Kikuyu. First human, then Jaluo. First human, then see shout? Kalenjin. You're first human, then you get to interact with people at a human point of view. Because some of you, I remember that one time tulikuwa na some of our watoto wetu Nairobi. Alafu wakaona Muhindi, Mzungu. So you know when we are young, we don't know the difference between Mzungu, Muhindi, Mjapanese, Mchingu, sio? Na they're like, Mzungu. Like, umeona Mzungu wapi? Ati si ndio ule? Wait, huyo si Mzungu, huyo ni Muhindi. Difference ni gani? Okay, kuna watu hawajui. Okay. All right, you can go to the next slide. I just want to finish. And we have been working on this program. We have been working on the Better Mentor Africa program. And last year we had a meeting like this in Kilgoya Boys. And this year we are honored to be here. Let's clap for the Dean of Students. I is part of the team. This picture was taken during one of our just casual meetings. We were just having a conversation, and I think you can see some of them here. They can raise their hands. You can see some of them. Tuwapigie makofi for the good work they are doing. Then you can go to the next slide. So these are some of the things that I have been doing. And I want to speak specifically about the SDSN. How many of us know about the Sustainable Development Goals? If you know what that means, raise your hand. Sustainable Development Goals. If you know what that means, raise your hand. As x tends to 0 in a calculus class. Okay. Just take your phone. No, we have to pump knowledge in empty heads, not yours, your neighbors. I'm kind enough. Just take your phone. Hope you have some data. Go to Google. Just type Sustainable Development Goals. Mwenye amepata, how many are they? 17. Which is number 1? No poverty. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, good health and well-being. Number 4, quality education. Number 5? Okay, let's not do that now. But umeiona, sindio? Please go and check Sustainable Development Goals and then ask yourself, which problem am I solving? Let us not go through school. That mimi, nataka nikimaliza job, God yuko nitaomoka tu. Bimoja, hamtaamini yule mwenye alikuwa anainama. Check, have a problem you want to solve and then solve the problem, and with that, make money. Sawa? Are we together? Then, with all the other activities that I've been doing in courtesy of Better Mental Africa, we are here today. And I want to make one recognition, and that recognition is, you see the entire journey I've taken you through of transformation of from the old house to the new house, up to where we are now. So the person who has been doing all that, mimi nimekuwa shule. The person who has been doing that is the one and only. I have one sibling, my sister. She is here today with us. And I'm so proud of her. Because she is the one who was saying, mafundi leo hajakuja. Okay, if you've just done mjengo, hata kama ulikuwa kwa site, unajua. Leo, simiti imeisha. Sasa, hakuna hata misumari imeisha. And she is here with us today. I think she can say hi. Do you want to say hi? Let's come. Just run, you are very young. And I think that would be the end of what I wanted to talk about today. And challenge all of us that even as we get global opportunities, let us not get to a point where we get prideful and think that watu wako ushago ni wajinga. Chaisikia ile mimi nasemanga ati ukiomoka usifikirie wenzako ni wavivu. So when you get an opportunity, don't get keep opportunities. Niki grow up, there's one of my relatives who used to tell me that kama unajua hesabu, usionyeshe mwenzako, utamwonyesha kushinde. I went against that. And by virtue of that, I was able to learn even more, because when you teach, you learn. Si ni kweli? Yeah. Oh, you have a mic. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Sasa hivi nilikuwa niwaambia jina yangu ni Josiah Muriuki. I'm good. I was the project manager.
What did you learn? How old are you?
I'm 16.
And what did you learn?
Okay, I learned many things. Nilisoma kwa kupikia watu in time walikuwa wanakula. Sasa baiku imesimama hivyo kula. Yes, lakini ilikuwa inakula mtu kichwa. So I told my brother, mimi kulingana na mimi sitajenga nyumba ya ubaya built house. Yes, isinikule kichwa, lakini ilikuwa a good time to be with them. Na nimesoma many things. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so I am officially done with what I wanted to talk about, and my final word is, my mantra in life is, to whom much is given, much is expected. You have come here today, you will learn a lot of things, and I have learned that people here don't share opportunities, people here don't want to talk about what they... Hawataki kuongelelea deals, unataka tu umalize alafu uambie mtu ni God manzi. Let's not go that direction. Ni God yes, lakini niambie kule unaendanga. Si ndio? So mimi nimemwambia njia zangu, hizo scholarships ndizo zimekuwa zikinisaidia up and down. Ukiniona Chicago tena next year usiulize nimeenda aje. Nikikwambia ni God manzi, unajua God alikuja through nini, si ndio?